Hello, everybody, and welcome to the 7th episode of the First Floor Podcast. My name is Henry Jewell. It is a busy afternoon here in downtown Phoenix, and today I am joined by none other than Yungbc. How goes it, man?
It's great, man. It's honestly so happy to be on this podcast. I tell you, I told you beforehand, like I do interviews, of course, but like really when it's the homies like you and this is just fun. Like I just get to talk with you for an hour or however long we're going to shoot this for. So I'm excited about that. Yeah, definitely a busy afternoon. A lot of movement going on right now in the popular music program. I could say that.
Yeah, for sure. For people that don't know, here at the pop music program, we have these like professional recording studios upstairs, and they're currently, both of them are booked out for 12 hours. There's 50 people recording like orchestral stuff. So
I think I need to do that or something, like get like an orchestra or something like that. That would be awesome if I had that in my music. I don't know why.
Oh yeah, like some Tyler the Creator
Oh my
shit.
Gosh. I mean, yeah. I mean, listen, they're just on lunch break. We're just witnessing. We're just looking at this right now. This is just the view here for the First Floor Podcast. So
yeah, nice scenery.
Nice scenery.
So just to start out, just like basic introduction, your name, how you started getting into music.
Yeah, what's up? I'm Yungbc. I make music sometimes. I am originally from Palm Springs, California. I'm a journalism major here, and then obviously being integrated in this popular music program through, shout out Winston T, the best DJ in the world, the best producer, just overall just guy.
Shout out Winston.
Hell of a guy. And it just kind of worked out like that for the last year and a half. I've been in this program, not like literally like in like majoring in it, but just taking classes just when I can. And I've met some amazing people, worked with some amazing people through this program, and it's still so raw, and I'm so excited to see what happens in the future. But yeah, I make rap music, I make alternative music. I mean, it's all over the place. A&R, I make content, I do a decent amount of stuff, so it just depends. People know me from different areas of stuff, I can say that.
Podcast host as well.
Oh God,
Tempe
what
Talk.
am I? See, damn it! Now I'm forgetting stuff now. Yeah, shout out Tempe Talk, #1 podcast in the world. You can only see that on TikTok, by the way, and only in clips. I do stand on that. We only post clips.
Really?
I will not do full episodes. Absolutely not. We film full episodes, but if I was to post the full episodes, it would be bad. I can't. So I got to do the best type of content, and I think for me, it just goes back to how it is now, just with the short form content. Like, I know some people would want to see a whole hour episode, but the chances of that are like 2%. So why not just give you the best clips, best moments from that episode whenever we have guests? And it's pretty sporadic. We've been slowing down a lot of filming lately, but I want to get back on that. My head's been in other things. So that's just kind of a fun thing for me to do. And I do it with my roommate, Michael Manzo. And, that's so funny. Like, you bring up the podcast, like I completely forgot about that, but that has become this year like a huge thing for me to film this podcast. And people have been like, "Yo, the podcast, this and that," and that was just kind of a joke. Like, and I was kind of, I can't cuss, right? Or can I cuss?
Yeah, it doesn't matter.
Doesn't matter. Okay, I was kind of a first when it came to doing it. I really was, and I just didn't want to be on camera doing that. And my roommate, Michael Manzo, I give him all the credit. He's so money motivated. And I've known the guy for a decade, and he was like, "We should shoot a podcast." And he hates being on camera. I'm the guy that likes to like do the stuff with content and whatnot, and he hates being on camera. And Tempe Talk just kind of evolved into that. And that's just kind of a little fun side project, but I'm mainly in it for the music, of course.
What's the other? You go out on Mill? In the Pit Vipers.
Yeah, shout out Bounce, man. That's a fun job right there.
Oh, that was through Bounce?
Yeah, so that was through Bounce Life. That was a company I was working for about 6 months. That was really fun. And I still am tight with all those people, and they gave me a huge opportunity because back in July, I was living in LA for the summer at the LA Content Studio, courtesy of Arizona State. For anybody listening, you should definitely do this program. It's one of the coolest programs. If you're into content, into doing that, you should definitely do that. And they were like, "You should do Man on the Street." And I was like, absolutely not. Am I going to be doing Man on the Street? Like, no way. And then this kind of opportunity happened back in September where I got to create all my own content. Like, I got to be basically the ringleader behind all of it. And we did something called Drunk Spelling Bee. And it was funny because we used to go, for those that know, if you know, you know, obviously Tuesday nights on Mill for certain age groups are a big fun time, and that's when we normally shot it.
Zuma.
Yeah, it's not around anymore, but it's gonna be back. But I did this thing and I was like, let's just go mess with kids and like, let's just go do like a drunk spelling bee. And if they get it right, they get the Pit Vipers. And then that's where me just kind of interview. I would do it like every Tuesday. I just would walk down from my apartment, not saying where I live, but like I just would walk down from my apartment and just filmed kids trying to spell stuff. And it was the funniest, most fun I ever had. And I was in literally a suit and tie, full, but no pants.
Right, you had like
I had pants on. I had pants. I had the shortest shorts on because it was for the 9 to 5. Like shout out the 9 to 5 album, but like that was the cover. And when I was interviewing people, I wanted to look super stupid. But like people thought that they were funny, like coming, like they didn't come after me. They were like, "Are you a pledge? Are you this?" And I'm like, "Do I look like I'm a pledge? Like I'm a goddamn senior. Like do I look like a pledge?" Is nuts. But yeah, I love doing the man on the street stuff. I think I want to continue doing that, and that also led me to some crazy opportunities to be doing man on the street. Yeah, I think it's led me to some insane opportunities. So I'm grateful. I think you got to take those risks and just kind of say, fuck it, and just do it.
I remember seeing one clip that I had like seen it when you first posted it, but then it got reposted onto, I don't know, it was like Barstool or somewhere, and it got like 200,000 likes or something. From
me?
Yeah, it was. I remember.
Was it a kid? Was it a frat kid or was it a girl?
No, it was some girl.
Oh my gosh, you're talking about the cooking and cleaning video.
Yes.
Yeah. Oh my gosh.
Yes. No wonder that went viral.
Yeah, that was. I think last time I checked, it was about 3-4 million. I think it's 3-4 million. I don't know how much it is now.
Oh my god.
No, so that was from the Drunk Spelling Me. That's from when we did that. And there was this girl, and we just kind of like edited it like crazy. And off the rip, she said, "I'm okay with cooking and cleaning." And I just had this crazy priceless reaction to it. And it does not become like a signature thing just for me to give like really weird stares into the camera. And she was a really good speller. She spelt it. She was, I don't know if she was intoxicated, but not that it matters, but it's obviously drunk spelling. You have to be in some form to play it.
Right.
And she just would not stop talking how great of a speller she was. And then lo and behold, we didn't even know that clip went viral until she texted us. And she's like, "I've been getting attention from my professors, like literally getting attention from my professors and like my classmates from this video." So yeah, I that was a pretty off the rip saying I'm okay with cooking and cleaning. It's kind of a crazy thing to say off the rip. Yeah.
Yeah, I think she knows what she was doing.
Oh no, she knew what she was doing for sure. She's awesome. She's awesome.
But no, there's a lot of like I don't know, a lot of stigma around the whole man on the street thing where like people I'm sure you've seen it. It was some dude that asked like a group of like 2 or 3 girls, what's your least favorite thing about a guy? And then the girl was like, when I'm on 6th Street and he comes up to me and asks, what's the worst thing about a guy? And the dude, like, they just walked away laughing, and the dude, like, got heated and was like, oh, yeah. Blah, blah. And I was like, dude, if you're going to have that attitude, you should not be out there.
You have to assume rejection when you do that.
Exactly.
Just like anything, even with music. Like, you have to assume that you're going to be rejected because, trust me, I've stood on a street for 2 hours and not gotten a single interview and been, like, devastated and all that, but it also depends. But then you'll get some people that are willing to be on camera, and it's a golden moment. Like that, for example. Like there's been 2 moments. That was one, and then I went to a frat. It was the beginning of the semester, and this was during rush week. This was during rush week, and we through Balance, obviously, we were able to partner with, I would say, 80% of the fraternities on campus, which was awesome.
Nice.
And we had to go to all these rush week events, and I'm not in a fraternity, so I was still kind of like, what's gonna happen here? And we go to this one frat. I don't want to like out who the frat is, and the kid was just so honest and real, and like I couldn't tell if he was like that was really him, but everyone said it was him. He's like, the boys are firing this semester, you know, like we're gonna be coming, we're gunning, like we're back, like we're firing this semester and all that. And it was just like I just stood there and let him talk. And that's the fun part about doing man on the street too, is I talk a little bit, as you can tell, but like just being able to let other people talk is like the coolest thing in the world. I think that makes it fun. You get to hear from people, and like I just get to take a step back and just like let them make a fool of themselves sometimes. So it's kind of nice. It's not the worst thing in the world.
Oh dude, just sitting back and letting people, you know, just spill their mind.
Just let them talk.
Yeah, because even after, especially when they're intoxicated, it gets to a certain point where they're just unloading their brain on you, and they don't even know it.
Oh, no, they don't even know, and that's the funniest part, because then they'll be like, don't post it. And I'm not saying like I'm not against not posting it, but like you signed up for it at the beginning. Like we handed you a flyer to make sure like you're cool to be on camera, and you signed it, so it's like can't go against that.
Right, yeah. So, what got you into music originally? Because you've been you've been making music since high school, right?
Basically, I've been making it since, like, it's weird because, like, I was really making it, like, I guess junior and senior year of high school, but, like, now look at where I'm at now. It's like I wasn't doing shit. Like, I was just doing that for fun. Like, that was just for fun. I started really making music when I was 4. I learned how to play the piano. And my mom also was a hell of a choir singer and a hell of a singer just in general. So music was put on me pretty early at a young age. And then I think when I came to college, it quadrupled into what I never thought I would be here right now, just doing what I'm doing. So that it's just kind of evolved, and then I think the content and all the other stuff just kind of followed suit. Like, I just really wanted to do music, and I still do. But and then now it's kind of evolved into just me throwing events now, and like me doing concerts and giving opportunities to people and just networking and doing that, and that's been really fun. That's been one thing I like. The Yungbc and Friends shows, like those are fun, and it also has allowed me to book other venues and like other shows for other venues just through those opportunities. So I think like each time, and we've only done, I'm trying to think, we're about to do the third one. The third one's about to happen at the end of the month, and it's just grown each time. So I'm excited for it. I really am.
Was the first one at Nile?
First one was at Nile back in September. That was the most fun. See, I've done a lot of like a decent amount of shows in Arizona for sure, and in Palm Springs, but like I really count Arizona. Like my first show in Arizona was like a sophomore. That was the most fun I've ever had on stage. That Nile show is the number 2 because my first show in Arizona was at the Nile Underground. And then
Really?
2 years later, well, this year, I said, I'm going to book it, throw my own show, because I had a lot of people show up, and we did the same thing, and we just kind of replicated that a little bit. So, yeah, the first one was the Underground, and then the second one was a outdoor festival at Cul-de-sac. Well, it was pouring rain. It was nuts. It was crazy. I got sick for 2 weeks after that because it was just pouring rain in, like, February. I mean, I don't even know what's going on with the weather right now, but that's what was happening. And then this next one, we're doing Varsity Tavern. We are booking Varsity Tavern April 27th. So yeah.
You heard it here first. Varsity Tavern, yeah. April 27th, day after classes end.
Yes, day after classes end. Half bands, half DJs. I'm trying to think of who's on that lineup off the rip. We got the Ruminations, hell of a band. They've done a lot. Obviously, I'll be performing with American Alibi. Got New Capital. Who else do we have? We have the DJ set, the after party. So from 5 to 7, it's going to be bands, outdoors. So the sunset vibes are going to be crazy. And then from 7 to 9, we're going to have DJs. So we got Livy P, Dilemma, 2 amazing female DJs that have been killing it in their respective areas. And then last but not least, he just passed by here, Winston T. Yeah.
Oh, he's performing
he will be
at
performing.
Varsity?
Absolutely. I got to get Winston T. Winston T, I mean, he'll be DJing for me, and then he'll be having a back-to-back set with Livy P. So I'm excited for that. I really am.
That's crazy, man. By the way, is Palm Springs is SoCal, right?
Yeah, SoCal.
Okay.
Yeah.
How far out from like LA?
How far from LA? Like 2 hours. Yeah, like 2 hours.
Okay. Is it like north or south of?
I'm not really good with the compass. If I'm gonna be real with you, I'm not the best with that. I just know it's 2 hours. I know it's 2 hours. My mom might give me shit for that, but yeah, it's 2 hours. I go to LA a lot though. Like when I was living in Palm Springs for sure. And listen, like I love it so much there. Like it's like therapeutic for me. I also didn't realize it was such a vacation spot till I was like 17. Because since COVID, it's grown like. It's crazy. It's awesome that it's become this way because I think it's everyone from LA is now coming to Palm Springs, and I think everyone from Palm Springs really goes to LA, which is something. But
Right.
like Palm Springs is nice. Like I get why. I mean, it's really hot weather. If you're from like a Minnesota or something like that, like you want to have that weather. So it's not the worst thing in the world. But yeah.
So, being from California, what led you to enrolling at ASU?
So when I was touring schools, I really fell in love with downtown Phoenix. It was the first school I toured. Gosh, this is crazy. It was so long ago. The journalism program was a huge thing for me too. It's the best on the West Coast. I stand on that. The building is crazy. The opportunities are nuts.
Cronkite is a great school.
Cronkite's a great school.
Very reputable.
I recommend anyone that's into journalism or just content or video, PR, anything journalism related to be there. Like I would recommend that to a T. It's changed my life to another level, and I just fell in love with it. I didn't really expect, because it was in the midst of COVID, so like I knew if I went to California, I was gonna have to do everything on Zoom. And Arizona doesn't really care too much about that, as you can tell. Like they're pretty laid back here. And I've also just watched this like city grow so much, which makes it really cool. But yeah, I just fell in love with it. I don't know. I felt I have family here. I've come here somewhat, and now living here is the best decision I've ever made. 100% best decision.
Yeah, dude. Phoenix is like, there's just such a, especially downtown Phoenix,
Yeah.
there's like this energy that like, I don't know, it's so just very, very creative and artistic. There's a lot of, murals around. Even all like the little like shops and
it's just
restaurants.
changed so much from when I was a freshman, because you got to understand, like during COVID, dude, it was a ghost town. Like no one was out on the street. I'm walking down last night for First Friday, and it is crazy packed.
Oh, last night was First Friday.
Because they had the AT&T block party too for March Madness, so they had that, and that was at Hans Park.
Oh, okay. So that's why I kept seeing like banners everywhere.
Oh yeah.
For,
well, tonight's
March
Jonas
Madness.
Brothers. If you're trying to go, I mean, like Jonas Brothers is tonight. Yeah.
Where?
The Hans Park. It's free. It's because of March Madness. So it's this whole festival. They had Zed last night. I was awesome for it's a free concert. I mean, like Black Keys and Mumford and Sons is on Sunday. I'm going to Black Keys. I'm a huge Black Keys fan.
I haven't listened to much by Black Keys.
Oh, that's crazy. Oh my gosh. Tighten Up, Gold on the Ceiling. The OG hits are good, but they got some underrated hits for sure. So that's a huge thing. But yeah, going back to downtown, it's just wild how much it's grown. Like the city's grown, and just like, because I just remember it being a ghost town, and like you just couldn't do anything, and we had to kind of make our own fun up. But now it's like I walk everywhere and there's lines out the door for buildings and all that. And I think also living in downtown, for me and my personality, freshman year that was also one of the best decisions I ever made too, was living in downtown and not living in Tempe my freshman year. Because I think I would have gotten burnt out. I think a lot of kids get burnt out their freshman year in Tempe. I think you need to have one real year of like...
Guilty.
No, hey man, there's no problem with it whatsoever. Some people can handle it better than others, but I just know some people that can't. And being in downtown, like, it wasn't that I wasn't having fun, or like I was making my own fun up, and I'm gonna figure it out. But like, I just would have gotten I would have been burnt. I couldn't imagine where my life was at if I lived in Tempe my first year. But it's not for everyone, and it is for some people too. So we'll see.
Yeah, man, the difference between Tempe and downtown is like,
it's night and day.
It is night. I saw this one. I brought this up in the Metallic Malik interview too.
Shout out Metallic, man.
Yeah, shout out Malik.
Shout out.
Because he goes to West Campus.
Yeah, he does. Yeah.
I saw this other, once again bringing up that ASU Confess page.
Yeah.
Someone, I think it said they were from West, and they said that if you're a bookworm, want to be quiet, just want to chill, go to West.
Yeah.
If you want to party, go to Tempe. If you want a little of both, go to downtown.
100%. Oh yeah, and the West Campus is beautiful. Like, it's a beautiful campus.
So I've heard. I haven't seen it.
It is really nice. Like, even the Polytechnic, like, people don't, like, they give them shit for, like, those campuses, but, like, you go to those, like, it's nice. I went one time my sophomore year. We happened to be watching the Bills-Colts. One of my best friends, Daniel Pike, shout out DP, man. He's a big Bills fan. And he wanted me to watch the playoff game when it was like Bills-Colts. It was like that time, like wild card weekend. And we just checked out the campus right after. He happened to be right next to it. And we went to some Bills bar, and it was like awesome. It was cool. Like, it reminded me a lot of SC, which is really weird. I don't know why. Like, it's like not as big as USC, but like the architecture of it reminded me a little of California. So I liked it. I like it a lot. And Metallic just had a show there last night at the West Campus, and he showed me some pictures, and it looks. I mean, go check out the West Campus. Like, let's go to the West, and let's go to the Polytechnic campus. Like, why not? Like, let's go do that. Like, why not?
Dude, I've heard Poly's beautiful.
Yeah,
they got like the mountains in the background and stuff. I mean, it is like a air.
Listen,
Air
I like
Force.
downtown more. I take all my classes in downtown thing compared to Tempe because I know people. It's smaller. It's way more chill. Like, I would be overwhelmed if I was in Tempe, and I don't mind being around a lot of people, but like going to all those different classes, like, I don't know how people do that. Like, I just like being in downtown and like going to my building, saying what's up to my people. It's just routine. I think that's one thing too, is routine.
Yeah, no, for sure. Especially because Tempe campus is just so big.
Yeah.
It's a lot of walking.
No, it's a lot of walking for sure.
One thing that definitely like surprised me when I first started like getting to know you was when I found out you weren't even in the program.
Yeah.
Same thing with Dawn.
Shout out D-John. Shout out Don. Love you, man.
Yeah, shout out OM.
Shout out OM for real.
But just like seeing, especially, I mean, because Dawn is here 24/7.
Oh, yeah.
So like, for a good probably few months, I
Yeah.
thought you both were in the program.
Really? Yeah,
And
fair
then I
enough, fair
found
enough.
out that you both were in Cronkite.
Yeah.
And dude, that like drive is crazy.
Thank you, man.
Just like
thank you.
being able to be a student of one school
Yeah.
and then still be constantly.
It ain't easy. Yeah.
Yeah, it can't be.
No,
Nothing is.
It ain't easy. No, shout out Don. Seriously, I look up a lot to that man. I've witnessed. I mean, we were on the same floor freshman year. In Taylor Place. Shout out TP, man. And yeah, those two. They just know. They know too much about me. So like, I gotta be locked in with them. They know so much about my music. But those were the two first individuals that I really opened myself up with musically to them, and showed them some songs because I used to be so low key about it and be like. I would never, because I'm not the guy like to just go play my unreleased music at a party and just be like, let's see what happens. But like with them, it's like, okay, I have this song, I think it's something, and we just have this like chemistry together as far as working with each other. And Winston moved to the program my junior year. Like he's only been here for such a short time, but I mean, those two in particular, I think they've really done a lot for this program.
Dude, did Winston ever tell you the story of why he transferred in?
I don't know why, but I have a good feeling I knew he was going to. If it says anything, I knew he was going to transfer in because I still will never forget it. Back when he was in Cronkite with me, he played me beats, and I didn't even know he produced. He's like, yo, man, like, because I've known him since freshman year, and we talk music, but we never, and even Don, we used to talk music all the time, but like, he really was like, yo, like, I made a beat, and I was like, all right, let me hear this beat. And it was all right. I'm going to be real with him. But he's like one of the best producers I've worked with.
Oh,
but
yeah.
I feel like I know his reasons, but you're going to know it more than me. So I want you to tell the world, yeah.
I mean, other than, wanting to do music and, liking the program and that.
He's always loved music. Like, I've known that forever, yeah.
He told me he was, he was just walking through downtown one day and Johnny walked up to him back when Johnny was wearing the cat mask and shit.
Yeah.
And or no, other way around. Winston was doing some
Winston was wearing a cat mask?
Huh?
Winston was wearing a
No.
cat mask? No. Other way around, I was like,
wait, other way around. Winston went up to Johnny because he was doing like some man on the street type thing for Cronkite, and I guess it was for an assignment, and he said he just saw Johnny with the cat mask, and he was like, oh, I have to talk to this dude. And Johnny, I'm pretty sure, was the one that told him about pop music.
Really?
I'm fairly certain
Johnny
that's
was
how
the
it
reason.
went.
That's
right?
I never knew that. Wow.
Right?
Yeah, no, Johnny's a character. He's a funny dude. I like him. He's a character.
Shout out Jaquella Bass. He's at Crass now.
He's at Crass. Good for him.
Yeah, man.
Good for fucking him.
He actually just, I think, I don't know how many he has, but I know for sure he produced the song that what was it, Late Nights, that on Ocean Star that Gianni just put out. Me and Gianni.
Yeah.
Yeah, dude.
Hey, man, I made the album too, man. We both made it.
Oh, yeah, dude. Price for Serenity.
Hey, man, I'm finally excited that song came out. That's been out since, that's been locked in since, August. I've been on this, feature shit now. I want people to, I'm not afraid to work with people. I want to make that very clear. If you send me something, I will make something happen. If I hate it, I'll let you know. But there's a chance I probably don't hate it. So if you that's the other thing too is you're talking about driving and all that. I appreciate that and I think that's cool, but it's more about a willingness to reach out to people because I think a lot of people don't do that, and it's the worst that someone can tell you is no.
Exactly.
That is literally the worst thing that can happen, and you can take that and be discouraged and be nah, I can't do it. But I think that's when you talk about with Don, when we have these conversations, dude, that's how we think. That's how I think a lot. I wish more people thought like that. And I can't control what people think, but literally the worst thing that someone could tell you is no. What's holding you back from putting out that song or asking someone for a feature or asking someone to do a show? The worst someone could tell you is no. That is straight up.
Your shit is trash.
No, but then you either take that and you just discouraged by one person who says that, or you push off, you brush it off. And I listen, I've had so much being said to me. I've had the worst of worst. I've had all this stuff happen, but the positives when those positives happen, it's the best high in the world. It's crazy. It's the best feeling in the world. It really is.
Do you have any advice for up and coming artists out there that
Any advice?
may or may not be speaking for myself here, but because when you said you think about yourself in high school,
yeah,
and you weren't even doing shit really, you were just making
I was
music
just doing that for fun. Yeah,
what I don't know, what piece of advice would you give to people that, you know, want to take that next step and actually establish themselves?
Well, I think I've established myself on the content side and through music, but I think by posting content helps. So I think that's one. I think it's putting yourself out there. And just not, because I think people get held back by, like, they'll post a couple reels and be like, oh, like, it didn't do anything. Like, listen, I've had my Instagram account, no joke, for 6 years. And I don't care about likes or numbers or anything like that. I really don't. But, like, now I'm like, okay, like, we're starting to see some consistency a little bit. But, like, that took 6 years.
Right.
So people think that you get it off in one day, and that's just not the case. Like, you might have big moments happen. Like, you might have big moments that happen, and it, like, you blow up or something, and that happens. But it's a matter of keeping that consistency going and building off of that, because you get one break and you're good to go. So I think that's the one thing, and it's just not being afraid of being rejected. I think that, like I was talking about earlier, I think that is the one thing that holds a lot of artists back, and they get discouraged by that. Because, you know what's funny? When I was driving here, I was, like, thinking about a lot of things, obviously, just like for this interview. And I've looked back on a lot of stuff I've done these last 4 years, especially with Arizona State, because, like, I'm not from here. I had to build everything from the ground up and do that. And now I'm, like, throwing shows, doing Man on the Street, all this stuff we talked about, all these different things that I talked about, how we talked about the podcast, like, all that, being willing to do different things other than music, because there's other money in other areas. It's not just music, and there's not a lot of money in music besides if you tour or you sell merch. Straight up, you don't make money on streams. Like, let's be real as fuck here.
Yep.
You don't do that. And if you think you are, that's great, but you need to put a lot of promoting and marketing and behind that. So I think it's about trying different things. Like, who cares? Like, you're 20, you're 23 now, right?
Yeah.
23. Yeah, man, you're 23. And, like, it's like, who cares? Like, just try different shit. Like, dude, like, I thought I can edit videos. Like, I edit my videos sometimes, and I love it. And, like, I found out I can do that. It's just willing to do different things. I think there's other things than music, and then you find the love from those other things, like podcasts and all that, and then that incorporates into your music, and it makes your music 20 times better. Real, like, the writing's better, everything's better. Everything's better. Yeah, so I would say it's just trying different things and not being afraid of being rejected.
He was looking at it, and he was like, I think Bannon is probably, like, the most popular, like, rapper at ASU. And I was like, well, I don't doubt it, but what makes you say that?
Yeah,
he was like,
I'm intrigued to hear this. What?
He was like, well, I've heard him, like, be brought up by so many other people besides you guys, because you know, we're in the program and shit. But, like, he was like, yeah, I've heard so many people, like, bring him up that have no relation to, like, you guys or music or anything. But
that's funny.
Yeah, no, a little side note. But yeah, no, my first time seeing you perform was at Battle of the Bands, and right off rip, dude, I could tell, like, your, like, stage presence.
Thank you, man.
And even in your music.
Hey, I was just trying to perform at Devil's Palooza, so I was gonna give my fucking all. I didn't care what I had to do. I mean, obviously I didn't win it, but that was a fun show.
Wait, I thought you did perform at Devil Palooza.
No, I didn't perform. No, I've been.
For some reason,
I wish, man. That's the. You know, out of all the things on my bucket list, like, I've been trying to. Cause that was the last one I didn't accomplish, but, you know, things happen for a reason, and that's why you do the Yungbc and Friends show, because then it feels like it's my own Devil's Palooza. Exactly. So, like, I can't even be pissed. But yeah, that was that was the first show I really did with Winston.
Really?
Oh no, that was like our second show together.
What?
Maybe our second or third show, because Winston didn't start DJing for me until end of sophomore, beginning of junior year. Yeah, because that was like about second semester starting that. But that show was that's so funny that you saw me there, because people have, like, referenced that show, like, when they see me, and, like, oh, like, that's how it all started. But, like, I have such low expectations when I perform, dude. Like, I really do with shows. Like, because my first show I ever did, I was standing on a chair at a house party when I was 16. And there were 10 people in the fucking crowd. Like, I, like, have the lowest expectations for shows. But that show in particular, I'm serious when I say this. If I had a top 3 shows, ever, top 3 shows, that was easily top 3. No, because I was not expecting that crowd energy in any way, shape, or form. Like, I was taken back. I was like, whoa. Like, there's, like, photos of me, like literally, like, I am in pure joy, like, looking and seeing people. Like, because I do a lot of crowd control, as you know. Like, that's, like, fun thing about my shows is I love doing that. And y'all were on point. Everyone was having a good time. Like, we were just, Winston and I were just messing around on stage. And, like, we even looked back because we were trying to perform from Devil's Palooza. But we were saying to ourselves, we're like, yo, if we don't win this, like, if somehow we don't win this, like, we're gonna be okay. Like, that was the first big show that Winston and I did together, and I was like, that's how this partnership's gonna start. And we've done 50 shows after that since, and that was just a stepping stone for me. That was one of those shows. So I'm glad that you were at that show, because that was truly one of my best shows that I've done, and that was lit. That was fun. And I think why is because you never seen me perform. So that's what made it cool. Like, you never, like, that was your first introduction to me. And that was for a lot of people, too. So I think that show was a huge, like, turning point for me, 1,000,000,000%. So I'm glad that you brought that show up, because I missed that show. That was a fun show, man. I really did.
Yeah, dude. It was just, like, the jumpsuit, the smoke machines, like, and,
the smoke machines is through them. I don't bring smoke machines.
Yeah, but I don't think none of the other acts really used it, I don't think.
Nah, I don't.
Because it was mostly like bands and stuff. Yeah,
but that's also why I wanted to start working with a band, was after that show, because I was the only rapper, and I didn't win the thing, and I was still kind of confused why I didn't win that thing. Well, I'll talk about that a little off camera. I got a little information for you on that, in my opinion. I'm not trying to call anyone out, but that was still a lot of fun. Like, that was, like, to do it with Winston for literally, like, that was our first, like, legit show. Like, second show we maybe did together, if that.
Yeah, dude. Bringing, like, a live band aspect into the live performance is, like, makes such a difference, especially in rap, because most, you go to a rap concert and it's just they play an MP3 and then they just rap over their lyrics.
Well, that's what I only do instrumental. That's why I only do instrumental. I'm straight up, like, because I feel like when you go on stage, like, you don't want to rap over your own words. Like, it's no problem with doing that, because I get, like, if you're going on tour and, like, you want to, like, save your voice, like, I kind of get that a little bit. But, like, listen, if I'm on stage for 15 minutes, I'm gonna give you 15 minutes of my fucking all, and I'm gonna leave it on the line. And I may look stupid if there are 10 people in that goddamn crowd, but I'm gonna treat it like there are 10,000 people in that crowd, because there's gonna be one out of those 10 people. There could be someone big time enough to be like, hey, I got a connection with some record label, like, let's make something happen. And it's because I gave my all. Like, that was like the Change the World shit, for example, the thing that ASU did. Like, that was the word. I'll kind of give you a little that was the one that just happened at the Sun Devil Stadium. You know what I'm talking about? It was like happened like a couple weeks ago.
I don't think so.
Basically, okay, so I'll give a total context of this. It's basically like Change the World's a thing through Arizona State, where they promote Arizona State students, like, through different things, through rapping. Some people are doing, like, Shark Tank presentations. Like, it's, like, all around the Sun Devil Stadium. Like, it's just, like, different clubs and products. And I did it last year, and it was a lot of fun. Shout out Moochie, by the way. Moochie DJ'd that one for me, because Winston couldn't make it. He's God knows where right now.
He's somewhere.
I think he's in Morocco. Last time I saw the kid's in Morocco.
Dude, did you see his story the other day of, like, him on a camel?
Yeah, it's the most Moochie shit I've ever seen.
The beard,
Hey, man, go stream the Hideaway EDM remix. Shout out Moochie, man. Moochie came through with that remix. It's one of my favorite songs we ever put out. But that's a side note. But the Change the World thing is really cool, because it's like, I only did it because of, like, the content. Like, you can, because, like, we're at Sun Devil, we're at the football stadium performing this, and I was like, I want to get some shots, but they wanted me to do a 10-minute set. People were sitting during my set, and you know more than anyone that if you go to my show, there's no such thing as chairs in my set. It's people jumping around and, like, putting their hands up. So it was, like, a really weird crowd. And it was the worst show I did in 3 years. No joke. It humbled me a lot, which was awesome. But I won the whole competition. And I get a call from John Curtis. He's, like, one of the guitar players for the band. And he's like, yo, you won the whole competition. I said, you're joking. I'm like, you're lying to me right now. There's no way I won it. And I sprinted from where I live to the Sun Devil Stadium, which is about 0.4 miles away.
Yeah,
and it was prize money. So I was like, I'm going to go pick up this check because, like, I want to get the money. Like, I won. I was like, I don't know how I won because it was, like, the worst show. I'm not getting you in 3 because people were sitting. Like, it was just weird. Like, it felt like it felt like a talent show. Like, it was really weird. It was super uncomfortable. It made me super uncomfortable. But, you know, in show business, you got to do what you got to do. And I ran 0.5 miles just to be told that it'll be. I literally was like, I won, like, yo, I'm here, like, what's up? Yeah, you'll get all the information in an email. And I was so pissed. But that's like a strange, like, show experience. Like, that's why I say, like, for any show that you do, like, bro, it don't matter if there's 10 people or 100. Like, just give it your all. Like, and you don't even need to be the most sporadic or, like big time person on the microphone, but, like, if you just, like, have good music, I mean, I don't even think I have the greatest music, but, like, I think my showmanship helps a lot. I think it elevates it a lot more.
Absolutely.
Because it distracts people. That's why I do it. It distracts people. That's why I do crowd control, because, like, my lyrics are good and all that, but, like, people, if you have your hands up, people are going to like the song a little more. Like, people are going to, like, if you go to an EDM show, like, you're going to like the song more because there's hands up and people are jumping around. So I want to create that type of environment for sure.
That's a great way of looking at it.
Oh,
it's
yeah.
a distraction.
little bit. I'm fucking with the crowd a little bit, just distracting you, just like I'm like hypnotizing you just a little.
Yeah,
bit.
no, it's like you're just kind of drawing them in.
Yeah,
like,
listen, I gotta do it somehow.
Like surgeons of is that a word?
Surgeons? Probably. It's your show, dude. You can do whatever the fuck you want.
Yeah,
you can do whatever you want.
The surgeons of Tiny Desk concerts in the last, honestly, ever since Mac did it.
Yeah.
Really, it's like, dude, NPR has.
Mm-hmm.
I only knew NPR from like the boring radio station where they just talk about politics.
They've been around for a while though. Like those Tiny Desk concerts have been around for a minute though. Like there's artists I didn't even think that did one like a while back, and they did him. And I actually think for me, I think the one that elevated the most was Tyler's, because he brought all that lighting in there. He made it dark and he brought all that lighting in, and it was like obviously like this is like a very lit room, but like he made it like super dark, and I thought that was super creative. So yeah, no, it's grown a lot. There's a lot of bigger artists like Justin Timberlake. I know like Adele did it one time. Like that's awesome, man. But I wanna have my own Tiny Desk moment tomorrow. So I'm excited. Who knows what's gonna happen? It could be like I said, I have very low expectations for shows. It's just who I am, and I want to keep that mentality. But so I got a little higher expectations. I'm a little excited for this one, to say the least.
Another honorable mention goes to Bronson. His Tiny Desk.
Oh, Action Bronson. Oh, come on now.
Yeah,
oh,
dude.
Absolutely. Hey,
Crazy.
man. When someone says the edibles just kicked in, I respect the honesty from Mr. Bronson. I actually put my buddy, one of my best friends, one of my boys, Lincoln. He never saw like a Tiny Desk concert, and we were just chilling at my house, and he never heard of Action Bronson, and I played him that whole Tiny Desk concert, and now this guy won't stop sending me like Action Bronson lyrics or something like that, like from like a Baby Blue or like Terry or Galactic Love, like that whole like Light in the Attic, like something like that. Like he loves it now.
So going back to your shows and everything, do you ever get nervous or anxious before shows? Does that like still happen?
I don't think I get nervous. I think it's anxious. I think it's anxious for sure. Like I just want to be on stage. I think that's how I look at it now. Some shows I definitely get nervous, like the Popular Music Showcase, the one at Crescent. I low-key was a little nervous. I'm not gonna lie, because I was just like, the timing was all crazy. That's another story. But I think it's more anxious. I think I get a lot more anxious, and I'm just excited to be on that stage. And it depends on the crowd too. Like I really like when I talk about crowd control, like I literally feed off the crowd's energy. Like if the crowd's not going to give me anything, and I'm not saying I won't, but I might dial it back like 50% and just rap and just talk. Like I'm not going to, but if I see people jumping and I see people like having a good time and I feel the energy, I'm going to go balls to the fucking walls. Like I'm going to go crazy. Like I'm just going to have a fun time and just make it an experience for everyone. So I think it's more anxious. And then like I jokingly say like I black out on stage, like not literally, because like I don't drink before or do anything of that nature before I go on stage. But I just have those moments where like I kind of get too lost in it, and then sometimes I don't take a step back and just like realize that I'm on stage doing that. But I've gotten better at it. I've gotten a lot better at it for sure.
Yeah, I know what you mean. Where like you like literally just blacking out.
Just
like
black out on
your
stage.
body is just on autopilot.
100%.
And then you come to in a few seconds, and you're like, oh, what the fuck? Like
no, it's real. It's a real feeling to have, but I think that's what makes it fun. Like my favorite thing about music, like people that do music, like they either do it for the girls, they do it for the attention. I do it for the shows. I literally, like, if you put me on tour, I would be the happiest man in the world. Like, I don't ask for a lot in life. Like, if you just put me on tour, you give me a chance to shine in front of a big crowd or something like that, I will deliver that. 1,000,000,000%, I stand on that. And I might not get a little nervous. Maybe I might get a little nervous in that aspect, but, I think that's what the nerves come with all of it. So I think that's what makes it really fun.
I'm going to be the first Yungbc tour roadie.
Oh, fuck it. You're coming on tour with me. No fucking question about it. Oh,
I'm gonna be following the tour bus in a minivan.
You know how Winston and I have this conversation, real shit, and obviously like it's not even like roles or nothing like that, like, bro, because you're just a fucking homie. Like I tell you, like I don't do this. Like I don't do this, bro. I really don't. And everyone has their role in my mind, and the way that you are and who you are is perfect. Like that's not even like a role in that aspect, but like who you are, like don't ever change. Like I'm for real when I say that. Like
thank you, man.
Because there's certain people that overextend their role or try to change up or be like that, but like, bro, I live my life just like if you just like play a role and I'll play mine. Like it sounds fucked up to say that, but like it's therapeutic. It's nice. It's just you want everyone to be on the same page, and that's how I feel like people are on the same page by like just like playing the role. Like I have certain people like. there's certain friends that I have that are like, I don't talk music with them, but they're just the funniest people in the world, and I keep them around because they're just hilarious.
Right,
and like they're
yeah.
just good people, and they make my music better. More like people don't even understand that, like being around you and like having moments like those, like when we're at Winston's or like just hanging out, like I write about that shit, bro, and it's beautiful. Like it just makes it better. So yeah.
One of my favorite quotes. I don't even remember how many episodes I've brought this quote up in, but now this question, I think I already know the answer to it.
Oh gosh.
What is your favorite song to perform?
Ooh, now that's a hard question for me. Damn. What do you think it is? What do you did you have an answer beforehand, or do you?
I would assume it's oh shit.
Listen, man, I love performing oh shit in the right times. Like if there's a lot of people, I will perform oh shit. I will not perform it if it's like mediocre. If you hear me performing oh shit, that means you know it's a good show. That's how you know, actually. That's a good point. Because I always have it when I give Winston my set list. We always have oh shit ready to go. Because there might be a moment on stage and I'm like, we gotta perform this. Yeah, oh shit's fun. That's a fun one. Oh gosh, what's my favorite song to perform? Low key, only because it's my favorite song that I've put out, one of my top 3. It's probably Hey. I just want, because I have a cool thing with the crowd where I have them like say hey, because there's like the beat goes like, I just want to say hey, give a wave and a hey. Like it's a funny song, and then towards the end there's this little bridge that just kind of just like vibe out a little bit, and then I like to split it up towards the end. Like I would talk about crowd control. I like to have the guys say hey first. And like, let me hear you say, hey. And then the guys go pretty well. They go pretty loud, depending on who it is. But I'm going to say it's trash on stage because then the ladies come up next.
Yeah.
But I don't say, hey. I'm like, let me see you say, hey. And it's funnier when they say it. And then I'm like, it's like, let me hear you say, hey. Hey. What's good? Like, it's like what makes it funny. Like, I'm like, what's up? Like, what's good? Like we had like a little fun on stage. So I think hey's probably now become like one of my favorites to perform. I mean, oh shit is fun though. Oh, so if the right people, if you catch on to the song and you know the lyrics, and people are moshing, then it's a good time. If people are just standing there, because some people just stand there super stagnant and don't know what to do. But I'm like, if you're a real fan, like you know the song and you know how to mosh with it, like it's fun. I think, damn, you got me thinking. Oh shit, I'm gonna say hey. I'm gonna say hey. But oh shit, definitely honorable mention for sure.
The next question was gonna be your favorite song that you've made so far. Would Hey also?
Hey would be in my top three for sure. I think gosh, and this new project, I don't forgive, I forget. Hideaway for sure was because I wrote that song when I was 17. Because I made Mixed Emotions when I was 17.
Shout out El Sloan.
And that's a crazy thing, because that's a funnier story with El Sloan. So Mixed Emotions was the first song I like put out. It did numbers. It's like I have to perform it. Like Ice Cube says, like he can't perform. He has to perform, but today was a good day.
Yeah,
or the crowd goes crazy. I have to perform Mixed Emotions, or else people get pissed at me. So like that's one song I got to perform. And then Hideaway was the next song I wrote, and I had it for someone, didn't work out, and then just kind of sat on it, and then I gave it to someone else, liked it but didn't loved it, and then El Sloan came in the picture, and the rest is history. And I wrote the whole song, top to bottom. Like her hook I wrote. Like any song, if you hear a girl that's featured on it, I wrote the hook. I just can't sing. No, that's a very besides Mixed Emotions.
Real.
Besides Mixed Emotions. But yeah, like Situationship I wrote. All these songs I wrote, but I just can't sing. But Hideaway, and now that's become like an EDM remix. Now that we got a house remix out of that, like that makes it even more special to me. That like it took 5 years for this song to really come together. And then my last for sure would be Not the Same. It has a real personal meaning. I'll kind of get into it. My friend Stoney, rest in peace, passed away when I was a coworker back in high school when I used to work at Islands, and she passed away when I was a freshman, and it was the first kind of time I really dealt with death. And I've dealt with it a little more now, but like the cool thing about that song is that it's evolved into not just about her passing away and like talking about that. It's now evolved into like, if you've ever lost someone and life's just not the same without them. And it's become this super cool thing. And like we're talking about like on stage, like I'll have everyone like shine their flashlights on stage, like I'll and let's do this cool thing, and it's kind of like a shine to them up in heaven and shit. So it's cool. I think Not the Same is probably the most impactful song that I've put out, and I think it deserves a little more credit. But I say that with a lot of my music, but like that song is probably my favorite I put out because it's so raw and it's so real.
Damn, dude.
Yeah, that's a real one. But on a side note, actually, that's another song. Both Ways is my most underrated song. Both Ways. No question about it. No question about it. That's all. You got to listen to it. I don't even want to talk about it. You just got to listen to it. And that's why. Because it's got a fun meaning to it. I think it talks about, we should probably go our own ways because you never seem to like things both ways. Keep that on the low. So yeah, we'll keep that on wraps.
Man, now I gotta go back and re-listen.
I love it. I love
this stuff because I've listened to your stuff before, but like
no, but there's certain songs like I've just put out a decent amount where it's like you're not gonna hear every song. I know that, but like that's my most underrated song. 100% both ways. I love it. Winston and I got a funny thing for the varsity show. We've already planned the set list, so we got a special thing planned for that song. That song's brought a little controversy. I'm not gonna lie with certain people, so I'm kind of excited about it.
You have it's just two like projects out right now, right?
So I have three. I don't forgive, I forget, which is the latest one out now on all streaming platforms. It's more of an EP because it's 7 songs. But I would say full length albums. I've had 3. I've done it once every year, but freshman year I had a project freshman year, but I scraped it. It was ass. Like no one was real enough but Winston to tell me that the sound quality was bad. That's why I love working with Winston because like the sound quality was awful. I was using GarageBand, and no one had the balls to tell me like it was awful. And,
yeah, Winston will not hold back.
And I was like, why did no one say anything? And I'm like, because I also didn't know how to mix then. So like that was my attempt at mixing. But like really good songs, raw songs on there. But I've only had 3 full. Much Love, It's Not Me, It's You, and 9 to 5. And then we're working on the 4th one right now. We are in the process of working on the 4th one. I think that'll come out. I don't want to gaslight people until like it's gonna be out. I think it'll come out in the summer. We'll say I want to drop something in the summer for sure. Drop a little. I was trying to do it before graduation, but doing these Yungbc and Friends shows have like kind of like caught up to me a little bit, which I love that. So it's caught up a little bit.
Like you said about how people hear rap and they just think cussing and this and that.
Yeah.
You definitely like. There's an element to like your delivery to where it's like. It's you would classify it as rap, but like you're really just talking.
Literally,
like
that's it's literally just me talking straight up.
Like I think I heard in I think it was like a Jack Harlow interview or something. Someone asked him like what was like the biggest the biggest step he took into like being himself in the studio. And he said that it was just talking, literally say what you wrote down just as you would, and
Yeah, I think emotion is real in music. I think you gotta speak your mind, and I think a lot of the songs that I write, I base it off of situations, but I don't like exactly like name people or do that. Like I don't all the time, but like I like making up like hypothetical situations. Like those are funny.
Oh
to me.
Yeah,
that's the best stuff to write. I think that's a lot of fun to write.
Like concepts.
Yeah. I think concepts because people relate to those. So it's like talking, like saying like it's talking. Like I feel like I talk a little bit in my raps, but I think it's just I think it's about being on key and just it takes practice, dude. Like it's 10,000 hours is a real thing. Like that is a real thing, and then Jack Harlow definitely presents that. I think Jack Harlow's career for any independent artist is something that you should look up to. You can call him trash or say whatever you want, which is nuts that you would. But his literal career is something that I look up to. And he's the only artist. I mean, every artist has a different thing. He's more open and honest about it, so I don't know everyone's off the rip. But his story and what he's done is something I fully look up to. Now he's got had a number 1 hit. I don't know if Lovin' On Me is still a number 1 hit, but like he performed at Arizona State sophomore year, and he was still big.
Yeah, I remember. I went to that.
And now 2 years, he's one of the biggest artists in the world. So it says a lot. Like, patience is key, and that man took 8 years, 10 years, I want to say, to, like, really get it going. And he was already in a record deal pretty young, and it wasn't like he wasn't putting out good songs. Like, he had good features and all that, but, like, he was barely known. Like, he had, like, a selective fans, and then now he's just international star now.
Yeah, dude, I remember the first song I heard from him was Wasted Youth.
Okay.
From Gazebo.
Okay.
And that was in like 2018.
See, because I never heard of any of his stuff prior.
Really?
No, I never did.
Dude, his old stuff, so good.
I know. Well, then I heard a little more, and it was like Drip Drop. Drip Drop was a really good one. I was just able to hear more about it, which was like I learned more about his career, and he's also just a funny guy. Like Jack Harlow is definitely like an inspiration for me now. 100%. Like his career model is something so cool. I mean, like I never thought I would say that, but like it's what he's doing is what I'm trying to do. So I look up to him 1,000,000,000%. And he's got songs. He's got hits. Like he's got good songs. Like let's stop with the Jack Harlow slander for real. Like let's stop with the Jack Harlow slander.
It comes with the number 1. It always does. It doesn't matter who it is.
See, facts. Yeah.
Doesn't matter who it is.
Because people think like now, like that's the other thing we're talking about with like independent artists. Like now, like the level that I'm at, I'm not at a crazy level, but I'm just saying that like I get hate and I talk about it. But imagine being that elevated, like a Jack Harlow level, where the whole world's giving you hate. Like you have to be able to take hate now and understand that's gonna quadruple or 20 times more if you get to that level. Yep. So you have to be able to take it. Like and it's also not if it's no one from like the music industry or someone that makes music or like is more successful, like I'm not like I'll take it. Like I'm not saying I won't ever take anyone's advice. I'm not saying that. But I'm not gonna take advice from I'm not gonna listen to some 11-year-old kid that's on his iPad saying that I suck, right. And like I'm gonna like be cool with that. Like he wouldn't say that to my face, so why am I gonna bother? Exactly. You got to pick and choose your own battles. I think that's a great way to put it.
And most of the people that do take the time out of their day to, you know, actively hate on someone, it's like you can kind of tell they're miserable.
If they don't say it to your fucking face, then what's the point?
Yeah, exactly.
And if they say it to your face, cool, but there's two ways it can go. I'm not going to say it on camera, but it can go one of two ways.
Yeah, man.
Game spoken, yeah.
I think one of the only good things that has ever come out of Charlemagne's mouth was he said it was like I think it's called the rule of 10. 3 people will love it, 3 people will hate it, 4 people won't care.
Yeah, I feel like it's I feel like it's like 6 people won't care. I feel like 6 people won't care and 2 people will love it, 2 people hate it. But
probably
that's not the worst thing that's ever come out of Charlemagne's mouth.
No, it's definitely the best thing that's come out of his mouth.
Breakfast Club Darnell Rawlings interviews are probably like
my god.
That's my highlight. Like that is genuinely like I will watch those full interviews. If y'all know who Darnell Rawlings is, one of my favorite comedians.
So funny.
Either they're both. I'm so pissed. He's got a stand-up special at Stand Up Live in Phoenix. I'm gonna be at Coachella next weekend. I can't even go see him. It's like he's gonna be performing, and then like my favorite LA artist, if you know who G Perico is. He's big with like Nipsey. He's underrated. You should go see his show. He's at Crescent, I want to say.
I've heard the name.
G Perico, that's the lit show. Like he's an awesome LA artist and he's crazy. Like his project. Like when I was living in LA for the summer, I just only listened to him. He's awesome.
Word. So second to last question here. What helps keep you motivated?
Family. I think my family. Like I was talking about earlier, like people playing certain roles in my life, I think that's another thing too that really helps me. Like I think like the way that people are around me, like I like to keep my circle pretty small, as you know. I like it may not look like it, like I may have like conversations with people and say what's up, but like in deep down, I keep my circle pretty small because it's hard for me to trust people. But I think the motivation, it's just the one like that one person that'll just like a decent comment about my music, like having this conversation. It's like, damn, I want to hit the studio right now. Like I want to do that. So I think. It's a lot of aspects of motivation, but I think it's especially this last year has been a huge motivating factor. It's been the best year of my life for sure. Like for music, the last year and a half has been probably like the best since that show. I think since that show that you talked about, I think since January 2023, that's been the start of it.
Was that January?
Yeah.
Okay.
It was January. That was was it Yeah, it was January. It was January because it was right before I turned 21. So I would say like that's my motivation is like seeing like one big show happen. I'm like, okay, like I'm starting to see things now. I never did in my 4 years of music. Never. This is the first year I've literally been like, okay, like some pieces are moving. Like I'm not content with it. Cause like if I walk away from music, like I'm serious, like I'm not gonna be satisfied because if I stop music, I'm gonna be like, fuck, like what am I doing? Like I didn't accomplish what I wanted. But I can genuinely look back and be like, you know what? I put out some albums. I've thrown some shows. I've had some awesome crowds, but like I'm not satisfied with that. I'm never satisfied, dude. I'm never satisfied. So motivation is all around me every day. Yeah.
You should never be satisfied.
Never satisfied.
That when you start getting satisfied, you start getting complacent.
Yeah, and I'm not quitting. I'm not saying that, by the way. I'm just saying, like, if I had to walk away, I could look back in my life and be like, yeah, like, we've done some things, but, like, it's not what I want. Like, I don't want to be, like, reliving my career and being like, fuck, like, remember when Yungbc was a thing? Like, I don't want to be doing that. So, at this point, I'm just saying, fuck it, and just kind of doing it so I don't have to be that guy. Like, just saying that real shit, so, yeah.
Yeah, dude, probably I think my biggest fear ever is, being a 70-year-old man and realizing, I didn't go after it.
I'll realize,
I didn't chase my dreams.
Yeah, I'm not trying to be like that. On God, I'm really like that's why I'm really not trying to be like that. I don't want to be like that. I think that's a real, it's a real thing for sure. But that's just taking risks, man. It's about not being afraid to be told no and not being afraid to be like rejected. That's a real conversation for people. So for anyone listening, like that's a real thing, and I still struggle with that every day. And you're human, and that's okay. But like, man, you're gonna get rejected. It's just how life works, and I think I've been prepared for that at a young age. And I'm gonna keep getting rejected, and I'm cool with that because it's just gonna make me be more motivated, and work my ass off. So
there you go. So last question.
Run it.
What's next for Yungbc?
Woo, what is next?
I know we talked about some shows during this interview, but if you just want to, bring them all back together.
I've been working pretty hard on these shows. Like the varsity show is going to be a lot of fun. That's going to be awesome. April 27th. $10 tickets, and you got to be 21. I should have said that earlier. You got to be 21. Yeah, man, it's just doing like the Yungbc and Friends shows has been really fun. Like that's been a cool thing because I get to control that fully, and I look at the opportunity because it's like throwing a party. I kind of describe it as like throwing a party because like you get the venue, you get the alcohol, you get the people, like you make it a party. So I've been loving doing that, and that's kind of turned into a brand on its own. I think it's more about pushing my brand. That's when I've been more business motivated, like doing sponsorships and doing partner deals and doing that. Like I've been really more on the business side because like you were bringing up how Aaron was saying like not every artist like they have more than one job. I'm trying to expand that horizon a lot more. Like maybe I could like, and I also want to help people. I think that's a real thing for me too. That's what I want to do next, man. I want to be able to help artists and like help like co-produce a project like for someone, or like give them like let me be in the studio and like be honest with you, like, and you have to be willing to take that. You have to be willing to take the criticism and like for me to be real with you. But like I would do that for certain people 100%. If you gave me that opportunity, I would shine in that. So I think it's about helping people. Working on this new album, I'm excited for that. I think that's a lot of older tracks, but it's gonna be more rap based, and I'm looking forward to it. And the concept of it, I don't want to say the album title yet. We're shooting promo for it. We're gonna start shooting promo for it, and hopefully drop it in the summer. But it's gonna be a fun album. I think this will be the best album I put out. To go out on a bang, let's put out the best album. And I'm not saying I don't do that for every project, but this one is special. This got a special name to it. I ain't gonna say on camera, but it's gonna be more details. We gotta build on one thing at a time, my friend. We gotta graduate first, and we gotta do this varsity show, and we'll be good to go.
Ladies and gentlemen, Yungbc, the youngest of BCs.
Yes, the BC can stand for anything today. I don't know what it stands for today. I haven't figured it out. It can mean anything you want.
Young.
What are we feeling today? I don't know. Young been chillin's like my favorite. I'm young been chillin' today. I don't know. Young, because it's like hard to like do like podcasts or something like that. I don't know. Young been chillin'. See, everyone asks me what the BC stands for. It stands for my full name, but there's different ways, and I've learned a lot. The last interview, it was a pretty funny clip of me talking about the different young BCs, like young before Christ.
Yeah, I remember that.
So we got young before. So we've come up with some new ones. All my Denver Bronco fans, we got Young Broncos Country. You already know the deal on that. Young Ben Chillin's my favorite. Young Beer Chugger. I want to hear what other people got to say. I always like when people tell me, like they'll see me on the street and like say like, I know what the BC stands for. Like, give me something different. What do you got? You got something?
I think my favorite is birth control for
Young
sure.
Birth Control.
Yeah.
Thank you. My mother. Yeah. You know what? I
Thank you.
think a lot of people love that in my family. So I think to be called Young Birth Control. So I want people to give me new ones. Like I had someone give me a list of them. Like straight up. Like I was a friend of mine. He's like, I got 10 Young BC. Like what the BC stands for, and they were creative. Like they were. There's some we probably can't say on camera, but like they're pretty funny. I think my favorite's Young Been Chillin's a classic one for me. I like Young Been Chillin, but it's Bannon Clark. That's the first and last name. But yeah, BC can stand for whatever the fuck you want it to. It's art. You can do whatever the fuck you want.